We have been keeping an eye on stocks at risk of breakdowns after big runs, and Guy Adami has actually been pointing them out along the way. Take a listen to what he had to say on Monday.
We've liked it for a long time. I'm concerned the price action today is interesting. LinkedIn at an outside day lower. I won't make a big deal out of it unless it happens a couple more days.
And that was a good call. Because it did happen.
So Monday specifically was an outside day, higher high than the prior day's high, lower low, closed lower, not good, and we flagged it that day. You saw what happened today in LinkedIn. You have to be careful. LinkedIn had that huge move up a couple months ago that we talked about. We could easily trade back down to 155 and this move to the upside still be intact, so be careful. PSX is another one, and I have to apologize for this one because it's a name that Pete and I have talked about for months now, and we didn't talk about it yesterday. Yesterday was an important day because why? You had an outside day lower in LinkedIn in PSX, and look what happened today. So that's my bad, and I apologize. But Phillips 66 right now is in no touch until we see a washout, which we didn't see today.
And what would characterize a washout?
A day where you see 3 or 4 times normal volume, maybe bottoms out and spends the rest of the afternoon rallying. We obviously didn't see that today. We'll be on the lookout for it. But the one that I'm really geared into now is the S&P. We made obviously an all-time high, or made an all-time yearly high, a 52-week high in the S&P earlier this week. If we close below 1546, or basically last Monday's low, then you have what we call an outside week, which is obviously worse than an outside day. If that happens, then you really have to be on the lookout, folks. If that happens, that could be the signal that maybe this bull run over the last 4 years is finally over.
All right, let's move on here. JCP set to unveil its home goods section this Friday. This as Target also gets in on the game-buying Chef's catalog, which owns brands such as KitchenAid and Le Creuset. As the competition in home goods heats up, is home where JCPenney's long-awaited turnaround is. Let's bring in Stacey Widlitz, the president of SW Retail Advisors. Stacey, it's great to have you with us.
Hi, Melissa.
Ron Johnson, the CEO, has called this turnaround, particularly in home goods, pivotal, and yet this has been the worst performing category at JCPenney for the past 7 years straight. Is this possible?
Right. It is pivotal for Ron Johnson here because this has to work for him. This represents about 12% of the business. Home, it used to represent about 20% of the business years back. So there's a huge opportunity here, and they're bringing in brands like Michael Graves, like Jonathan Adler, but Martha Stewart, obviously we're in a court case here. That's a big question mark. So there's an opportunity, but the question is, they've got to get the traffic back to let the people know that the home is transformed, and the traffic's down 17%.
Now, the problem is that they have to get the traffic back in every single category, not just home goods. And in particular for home goods, that is where their lunch has absolutely been eaten. If you take a look at home goods, the TJ Maxx brand, their sales were up to 18% last year. So it does look like they're losing share to some of these other competitors. Williams-Sonoma just came out with numbers, monster numbers there.
Absolutely. And if you look at the home business, it was up 8 to 10% last year. You're seeing killer numbers from all of the retailers that you just mentioned. So there's no excuse here. They've got to revamp the business. They've got to bring in the brands. But again, the big deal here is that Martha Stewart was supposed to be the headliner here. So what's going to happen with that court case? We just don't know yet.
I agree with you, Stace. But I'd also offer, though, that this is a Me Too situation now. In other words, none of these are exclusive brands. Michael Graves, Target, and so forth. I mean, so why would this be so exciting to a shopper to bring them into JCPenney when they already have these offerings at these other retailers?
Right. So some of the brands that you'll see are repetitive here. So you're basically, what they're trying to do is take the Target customer and pull them into JCPenney. The problem is it's not the same customer. Right. It's the coupon. It's the older coupon person. It's not the young, hip, home eclectic fan.
Yeah. Somebody was trying to make fun of me now. I'm glad that Stacey just powered through that.
Sorry, am I hogging?
No. You did exactly the right thing.
Stacey, good to see you in person.
You too.
Stacey Widlitz of SW Retail Advisors.